Last year I reviewed a set of earphones from a company called One More. They were their triple driver variant, and to this day they remain my go-to for an in-ear audio solution. Earlier this year, One More introduced a new premium over-ear headphone appropriately called the Triple Driver Over-Ear. Are they as good as their predecessors? Let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. These puppies ain't cheap. With that being said, they are not the most expensive pair of cans I've ever owned. And for people looking for a truly great audio experience, $250 is probably right in the sweet spot for enthusiasts. But One More's company philosophy has always been customer-centric. They aim to deliver a premium product while undercutting their competition on price. I suppose many companies operate this way conceptually, but how many actually deliver what they promise, a fantastic end-user experience for less money than you've been conditioned to think that you have to pay? The reason I was so excited to get to know these guys right here is because of my experiences with the in-ears. For $99, those buds put my $400 Wesstones to shame. And in the year that I've owned them, I haven't once had any issues come up at all where they needed a repair or replacement or some sort of maintenance or anything like that. Sure, the braided cable had gotten a little fuzzy over time from being shoved in my backpack repeatedly, but they still sound as good as they did on day one, and in fact they probably sound better because now they are fully broken in. The marketing on the over-ears promises stunning studio quality, luxurious comfort, and a fully balanced and precise soundstage. But before we can evaluate these three claims, we gotta get them out of the box. And just like with the in-ears, they come in a beautiful fold-out, magnetically sealed package with an exploded view of the construction of the headphones. Now, clearly this doesn't affect performance in any way, but it speaks to the care and attention to detail that One More puts into their products. In all honesty, if I paid $250 for headphones and they came in one of those impossible to open plastic clamshells with a 2-page instruction book, I would be a little disappointed. The cavernous interior of the box houses a hard shell padded travel case that the over-ears fold up neatly into, along with a 1/4-inch adapter. Below the hardshell case, there is a smaller box that contains your instructions and another way to house your headphones while traveling, a soft microfiber bag. So far so good, I guess. The Triple Driver over-ears reproduce sound, obviously, through the use of a 3-speaker system. There is a 42mm graphene dynamic driver, a 10mm ceramic tweeter, and a bass reflector, all packed into the not obnoxiously sized ear cups. The construction of the cups is lightweight anodized aluminum alloy, which, despite my best efforts, refuses to show grime or fingerprints. The exterior shell is kind of a love it or hate it spoke pattern, which kind of reminds me of car rims. There's a clear panel that allows you to see the actual bass reflector inside, a rarity for a closed back design. And yeah, these are not open backs, despite how that might look at first. There's a decent amount of swivel and pivot, which makes for a comfortable fit, really no matter how misshapen your head happens to be. But I do wish we could have gotten a full lay flat option, as when you're wearing the over-ears but want a quick break from the music, draping them around your neck is not the best. The padding on the inside of the cups and on the inside of the headband, however, might actually be the best. I've never worn a less fatiguing, more comfortable set of headphones in my life. The cups are thick and plush feeling, and the moderate clamping force combines perfectly with the amount of cushion here to create a perfectly acceptable seal without putting my head in a vice. The size and shape of the pads means that, for most people, these aren't truly over-ears, rather on-ears. But the minimal sound leakage and impressive sound stage were truly unexpected when I first tried these out. The headband area is again super light with a sturdy stainless steel underlying frame and an absolutely absurd amount of flexibility and durability. The leather and padding is again just the right temperature of porridge to make a very comfortable feel and something that won't just go flying off your head if you happen to turn your head or nod. Another thing I really like here is the fact that these come with a user replaceable braided cable. In fact, I wanted a second, longer cable for use when I'm sitting here at this desk editing videos, so I just went on Amazon and bought one. As with the in-ears, One More has worked some kind of voodoo magic to make sure that it's virtually impossible to tangle this wire. It likely has something to do with the Kevlar reinforcement, making it just very, very slightly stiffer than some cables, but give me that trade-off any day. So, the construction is excellent. They fit well, they're comfortable over long sessions, and they're suitable for tight quarters like planes or buses. But sound, right? It's all about how do they sound. I decided to test the over-ears in two different ways. I spoke with a rep from One More about how to get the best experience while listening to music, and specifically asked if these were meant to be used with this, or if they'd see any benefit from a separate amplifier. After all, I'd say the vast majority of people watching this video are going to be using their phone to power their headphones. So if there's not going to be enough juice, it would be hard to recommend them to you guys. One More's response to that question was that the triple drivers were designed with only a 32 ohm impedance with the goal of making them ideal for use with your phone. Most modern smartphones should have no problem driving headphones with impedance up to somewhere in the neighborhood of about 75 ohms. So the amp built into your iPhone should do the job just fine. However, if you really want to push them and see what they can do, an amplifier is the only way to go. So after having that conversation, I reached out to FiiO, makers of portable headphone amplifiers that are perfectly pocketable and look pretty nice too. I definitely like the brushed metal design and the fact that all the controls are right here at the top and easily accessible. FiiO gladly sent over their A3, capable of driving speakers with an impedance up to 150 ohms and with an internal 1400 milliamp hour battery that lasts 16 hours on a single charge. As with all of my audio testing, I used lossless audio files. In this case, ALAX, basically Apple's proprietary lossless codec. I loaded up some tracks from a bunch of different genres, and over the course of the past 2 months or so, I've tested these cans in every real-world scenario that I could. In my office, in a car, on a plane, mowing my lawn, playing poker in a casino, or walking through a supermarket. Here's what I found. Plugged straight into my iPhone X, the One More triple driver over-ears deliver an unexpectedly deep and wide soundstage with crazy instrument separation. They have the flatter, non-exaggerated bass profile that I prefer, much different than something like Beats, and much more true to the songs as recorded by the artists. The highs were crisp and loud without being piercing, and the mids were good, although definitely what I'd say is the weakest part of the sound signature. Electronic tracks from Moby and Odessa were standouts for me, as all the beeps and squeaks were extra beepy and squeaky. The overall experience was absolutely excellent, with an impressive frequency response range and audible clarity and no muddiness even at low volume levels. I also couldn't get them to distort despite blasting my eardrums with max volume heavy bass tracks from Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Plugging in the A3 in between the phone and the triple drivers did a couple of things that might be obvious. For one, as this is an amplifier, every volume step was noticeably louder, and I could not actually listen to music at max volume. It was physically painful. Secondly, it really punched up those mids and brought so much more life to tracks from Foo Fighters and Paramore that don't necessarily have that heavy low end to fill in the gaps. Again, at the volumes I was able to bear, I didn't hear even a hint of distortion, likely because the signal coming from the amp is so much cleaner. So do you need an amplifier with the one more triple driver over ears? No, definitely not. The overall experience with these cans has to be an A+. And whether it's a marathon video editing session or a 5-hour flight to Las Vegas, this is the portable audio solution I'm going to reach for every time. If you need that extra volume or clarity for whatever reason, an amp like this definitely helps. But I think most people will just enjoy these for what they are. Some of the best headphones I've ever had the pleasure of listening to. So what do you guys think? Would you consider these for your next purchase? Or is the price tag a little too hefty or the design a little too out there? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to pick yourself up a BPS custom shirt or a mug or a mouse pad in the merchandise store linked down below, and get subscribed to the channel if you're not already. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.